Hey, look at that. This actually works. Hey there, YouTube. My name's John Kulas. I'm a 20-year professor of industrial and organizational psychology. As a professor, my focus was on anything quantitative. For my discipline, that means primarily stats and psychological assessment. I started working with R about 10 years ago, exclusively, moved from a different platform to R. And over the course of the last 6 or 7 years, I've been using R as an authoring platform. So the idea of this live stream that we want to do semi-regularly is to build an interactive resource for people who are also interested in using R for authoring. What and this is just kind of a first attempt at how we should structure this thing. But one of the things I was thinking about, and hopefully we get more people involved and people can give feedback on what they'd like to see. Um, I was thinking that we would do a panel, and so PSP stands for Problem Solving Panel. We have one person in the back room today. That's fantastic. I'm going to bring him on in just a second, but hopefully we'll have more joining us over the course of weeks. And so the big thing that I'm seeing in terms of resources, YouTube resources included, is that these are static. That is, these are filmed, they may be edited, and they're resources that you can use, but they're lacking an interactive component. So I was thinking these live streams could be not just collaborative in terms of a panel working on problems related to authoring documents and products in R, but they'd also be interactive, and interactive in the form of chat, in the form of people coming on and showing what they're working on and maybe what sticking points they have, and the panel maybe helping them through those sticking points. We are not experts in this new platform called Quarto that's being used for authoring projects. I'd say collectively, the people that I've invited to be a part of this, we're high intermediate level users of R Markdown, and we're just transitioning over to Quarto, which is new for us, which is another reason that I was thinking that this might be a good time to launch something like an interactive live stream, so we could all learn collectively. Part of that learning is going to be mistakes, so we're going to be live coding and probably making a lot of mistakes, but that's great for learning. That's the best way to learn with regards to this type of stuff, using these software platforms to do things like author. So kind of stretching ourselves a little bit. We're going to be making some mistakes, and then hopefully we'll have some fun. I've been having fun learning this new software, um, and also kind of making some YouTube drops that are related largely to mistakes. So anticipating that we're going to be making mistakes, I actually have a few YouTube drops, and I'm sure those will expand that we can play as we go. So we actually have a panelist here, Diego. Diego, I kind of forewarned you guys that we didn't promote this at all, so this is probably going to be mostly a test run. But anything that I said, Diego, that you want to add to or take issue with?
No, I also been using R for since 2018, um, and mostly doing stuff with R Markdown. So yeah, Quarto is uh, it's pretty cool because it lets you do many things, and it also lets you use Python and R in the same script, which can be very makes RStudio pretty much my IDE of choice right now because you can do both R and Python in it, and now you can do it in a very effective way, which before it was kind of a headache, and it was better just to go to Jupyter Notebook or whatever. But yeah, this makes our studio now more exciting.
Yeah, I think so too. And it's kind of fun watching the transition of that company from the product to the company. Now they're called Posit, and you can see this transition where they want to accommodate more languages. Yeah, and so Diego knew Python as an undergraduate. He's getting his PhD in IO psychology right now.
Yep.
But you knew Python more than R, right, Diego?
No, I knew R more. But yeah, I took courses in Python, and I've been doing some projects with Python, some machine learning. Um,
No, I meant as an undergraduate. So did you have exposure to R as much as an undergrad, or was it Python? You're
mm,
saying that was R too?
in So as my under in my for my undergraduate, I did MATLAB and R,
Oh,
and
okay.
then I used what was it? PsychoPy. That's like a software to create like psychological experiments. Um, and it's in Python, but it's a user interface. It's like you kind of like open windows and drop down menus, and you
Gotcha.
it's not a programming language, even though
Gotcha.
Python runs it.
I have this image in my head of you as a Swiss Army knife. Basically just, oh yeah, Python, oh yeah, Julia, oh yeah, observable, oh yeah, R. Interested in maybe taking it on and learning it. Um, so this is the only, I have 3 slides for today. And so this is kind of the structure I think we'll use these first few weeks until we get people in here and participating in this. I'm thinking that we'll focus on a focal issue, the issue that came up among our team of people that kind of work together on different projects over the course of the last few weeks. um, was I was first framing it as a reveal JS image issue. And it turns out that that's not the issue. The issue is trying to get a slide deck to print in the PowerPoint format. And so I think this is going to be a regular sticking point for all types of authoring applications. Diego, if you remember, we were trying, when we were using Markdown, we really had no difficulty in rendering as a HTML file or a PDF. But every time we wanted to go to a Microsoft output format, there would be a problem. And so the one with Markdown that we did the most was Word documents. And now with Quarto as well, they do have a built-in feature to knit to PowerPoint formatted slides. But I'm thinking we're going to have some of those same headaches with anything Microsoft that we try to knit to or render, to use the Quarto language. So we'll spend a little time today, if you're up for it, Diego. I think we'll spend a little bit of time working on Casey's issue and showing you kind of how we worked around that issue. Casey's not here, but I think we can still give an overview of what he was dealing with. And then, so after we do those focal issues, I was thinking if we need to fill time, we could do package reviews. And so I just took one here. I don't know nothing about the polite package, but I just kind of like that cartoon icon. And that's just an example of it's just an example idea of something that we could do to fill time between the focal problem solving issue, which today is going to be slide deck images, and then the open kind of forum, which I'm really excited about. If we get some more people in here, I think it would be fantastic to do some shared problem solving and just kind of use the collective knowledge, wisdom, and skill of people on the panel and people in the chat once they get here in pursuit of solving whatever issue people are having with their authoring projects. So that being said, let's go ahead and maybe take a look at, see if I can figure out StreamYard here, because last week's issue when we tried to launch this, I think Casey was in the back room, Diego. I don't think you could make it last week, but last year's issue was I was trying to do this through a different platform. Just didn't work. So we're using StreamYard now, which you might be familiar with kind of the layout. A lot of these live streams use this software. It's actually fairly, I was about to say it's actually fairly user friendly, but now I can't find my screen share. There it is. So let me exit out of, there's one other thing I guess I'll say is anything that we come up with what I was thinking, Diego, and I'm sure you're probably okay with this, but whatever solutions we come up with on a given week, that we'd go ahead and put those in a QMD, an RMD, or an R script and put them up on one of our GitHub repos, just for whoever might be interested in stumbling across it. This is the QMD that we actually used for this session to create this slide deck here, this very small slide deck, but it's going to be available. This one's posted on my GitHub repo. There's a folder there called live streams, but I think we can actually go ahead and put anything else we come up with on one of those repos as well. So I'm going to go ahead and save. I'm going to go ahead and open a slide project, save it in this folder here, and I can kind of try to reproduce what Casey's issue was. So I'm just going to ask for my slide presentation. I'll go ahead and do a cursor highlight here. And we'll start with the reveal, and then we can maybe move to the issue, the real sticking point issue that we have, which is trying to get the reveal type format to look like it looks like in HTML once we move into the PowerPoint format. And again, the issue that we saw was with images in particular, and getting images to be placed where we want them to be placed. Now, maybe what we can do here, Diego, is go ahead and show some of the HTML tricks that we used with. We weren't using Reveal.js slides, we were using Jeringen slides, but the tricks are the same in terms of placement of those actual images. I'm going to take this visual editor off because I don't use that. Let's go ahead and render this.
It would be the same CSS code for like putting an image in a slide.
So that's a good question. That's different too. So, and as we're learning this is all new to me as well. So the Quarto platform seems to prefer, I have it here actually. It's an SCSS. It looks like CSS, but it's slightly different. And so maybe we can spend one of these weeks kind of going over what SCSS is. It's amazing how much new stuff you have to learn to stay on top of just specifically the formatting issues with this kind of thing. So here's the standard Quarto template for a presentation. And the issue I wanted to bring up here is the placement of images. So I think we'll just look for cats. Do some cat images here. Where's a friendly looking cat? It's a friendly looking cat. See if we can take that image address and go ahead and re-render that. And so on this first page, and I think maybe we'll take off these subsequent pages, but you get the image as anticipated. Now we can use limiters that will specify the height, width, so on and so forth of this. And these usually work within these HTML rendered slides. Let me see if I actually have a cheat script here. Yeah, in these curly brackets, I think height and width are legal commands. So let's just see if we get any difference here. Looks like it might have pulled something up. We'll just put it on a separate page. Okay, so that actually didn't render like we wanted it to in the HTML, and I can demonstrate one of the hacks that we've been using for this type of issue. And let me pull up a separate file here. And that separate hack is to use HTML tags directly. And that seems to be the best way to control the placement of images in files like this. Oops, sorry, hit a wrong button. How's my audio, by the way, Diego?
I can hear you well.
Okay, I'll be curious to see what this looks like on YouTube.
I actually looked at it on YouTube before, and it goes like with slight delay, like a second delay.
Yeah, I think that's part of the software. So the software, again, it's StreamYards or StreamYard. I'm not sure what it is, but they say too when you try to launch one of these, they tell you, there's going to be a delay. They tell you actually not to go ahead and look at YouTube because it's just going to confuse you. Do you remember? You ever listen to the radio to talk-in shows, and the hosts would always yell at the call-ins and say, "Turn off the radio."
Oh.
Do you remember that at all?
No, but I guess they were hearing themselves.
Yeah, because there's echo. So this is one of the hacks that we've been using for placement of images, and so it might work better than these div commands in Quarto. Now, again, we're just learning Quarto, so haven't learned all of the quirks yet for those div tags. Things like spaces and no spaces, those tend to have issue or have consequence within our markdown, and we're just still trying to figure out if they have consequences or not within Quarto. And so the reason that these tags are helpful, and these aren't the only commands that we can have here, but the width and the height are very helpful in terms of the size of the image that you want. It looks like this one's a little stretched, so maybe we'll go a little wider than taller. But these position tags are fantastic for rendering to anything HTML. You can use percents, you can use pixels, you can use inches. The pixels, I've gotten to the point now where I think I understand mostly what consequence a different magnitude number will have. And so this should place that somewhat larger image roughly toward the middle of the screen there. And that's a great way to control smaller cats. Now we were trying smaller cats, the size and placement of your image. This is fantastic for multiple images being placed on the same screen. So if I like the size of my kitty cat here, but I want to give him or her a twin, we can just bump that. Instead of going from the top bottom, we can also go from the top. That should be roughly around the same in terms of pixels. But I can take, let's give this guy, let's move him a little closer to the left-hand margin. Put this guy the same from the right hand, but we'll put him along the same vertical arrangement here. And so now I should have two cats side by side if we wanted to actually move them a little bit. Now, again, this is the way that this is scripted. It's talking about distance from the right. So I would have to go less from the right and less from the left. And you can do this however you um, prefer to do it in terms of placement right, placement left. But the other option on this is to use columns. And so columns historically have been kind of messy to work with. I really love those HTML tags because you just have so much control over where those images are. The do this in Quarto, and so they use fences. Diego, are you familiar with fences?
No.
I'm not either. I think this is unique and special to Quarto. Um, sorry, I'm just checking. I saw we actually have one person here. That might be you, but I was just opening up the comments just in case it is someone that wants to say something. Um, where'd I go here? So these fences are saying I got stuff that's going inside of here, and that stuff that's inside of here, I want to be rendered in a format that's different than the default Quarto format. And so one of the you can do all kinds of different divs. You can do all kinds of different specifications of how you want things um, using these fences. And so I'm looking for the way that Quarto would like you to do this, because like everything else in R, there's a million different ways to go ahead and do this. I'm going to use the first way that I came across, which is to specify in your fences that there are columns calling up. And then we can go ahead and just, in curly brackets, use the column width div. And I don't know, let's just see what happens here. I'm going kind of off of an old script that was used for a different purpose. And I'm not exactly sure it's going to work. The way these fences work is, and our studio will do some nice color coding for them. I've noticed, Diego, I know we've all kind of been working more with Quarto projects, but I've noticed there is a bit of a bug, I think, with some of these specifications in terms of it doesn't always pick up the proper fence. So each open and closed fence is supposed to be color coded the same. So on line 31 here, for example, I would expect that fence to be salmon, but it's currently not. Let's take our kitty cat image here. And we'll put them, we'll just see what happens with one column. Now, this isn't the way that I've started to use the column specification, but we'll see if we can actually control the size a little bit with it, because ideally we should be able to. Not really. So there's a different way to actually do this. And that's to make multiple columns within this column specification. One thing
By column, what does it mean by column?
Yeah, so this is part of the thing we're gonna have to get used to with Quarto, is they're trying to dummy down a lot of the control that we had in R Markdown. So column is a built-in command that is specific to fences, where it actually knows that you're gonna try to feed it in columns coming up. It's one of the things I think we're gonna struggle with. Let me see if I can put in a different column here under the same specification, and if it'll pick it up. I'll make one of 40 and one of 60. There you see some of the color specification. Okay, so what this is saying, what this is telling us is we're probably going to have to control the figure size here because it didn't give us two columns. It gave us two rows, and that's likely stacking them because those images are actually too big. So let's see if we can actually go smaller. I'm guessing not. It's just the container is too small for the size of the image. Yeah. So I think what we need to do if we want to get these in two separate columns is we need to play with the size of the image. So here, Diego, maybe you can look this up too and see if you can come up with any possible solutions to this. But let's see if we can control the size of this here with the width specification, and if that gives us anything different. Well, they definitely got smaller, didn't they?
Yeah.
Oops.
Can you also go do like column height?
Yeah, height. I know height is definitely a command we can use. Okay. So we're getting a little bit of control here. But the thing that's happening is it's all happening within one column. So it's not recognizing that this is a first column and this is a second column. I know there is actually first and second column specifications. I haven't used them in this sort of structure before, but we can try it. So let's try. And again, all of this is new. They're using hash symbols for a lot of this stuff. But we can try a first column and second column. It's going to take so long to learn these commands. And there should be overrides just like there are in R Markdown to do things like control the size of these columns. But we haven't actually come to them first. Okay, so I mentioned that this was actually somewhat of a different structure than I've used with success in the past. The structure that I have used with success is instead of letting Quarto know that we have columns coming up, we just give it a layout. And the layout does seem a little more responsive to what we're trying to do. There's double quotes and there's square brackets here. And what they want here is they just want percentages. So if I say the layout coming up here, let's try 4 instead of 3. That might have a difference. That might make a difference as well. Again, as we're learning this stuff, we don't know those quirks yet, like we know with R Markdown. But so that layout is helpful. It's probably ignoring our width commands at this point. We can get rid of those and see if it does or not. Yeah, those width commands are doing nothing. If we wanted to make these smaller, we could do something. Again, I don't know if this is a hack or not. Diego, tell me what you think, but I'm thinking this is probably one of the hacks that we usually use to get around issues. But I could do a third, roughly a third, and let's make this the third column. And then we'll just have an empty second column. Ooh, I kind of like the lime green that they have. I wonder how they choose. I wonder how they decide what colors to use. You think somebody's job at Posit is just to decide the color palette for things like order of sequencing of fences?
Yeah, I think it just goes like from different like shades of yellow. You know, it starts with red, goes yellowish, then greenish.
You think so?
Yeah, I think maybe to get the idea where where the subsets, where the different layers are, the different levels.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm curious how they chose these colors. You know what I mean? Like, how do you choose the starting point there? Like, I actually kind of prefer these colors than the above colors. I don't know why. Turquoise or sea blue, that aqua. That's a prettier color than salmon or whatever color that is. So
Yeah.
uh, anyway, this is the hack that we are using to control the size of the images without using the direct HTML code. And so this is probably how we're supposed to be using it. I could make, we could make the left cat bigger uh, than the right cat. We can go this. But there's still internal logic being used in terms of the placement of these images within those canned locations. But within those, there's a name for it, bins, I think. What do they use with HTML code when they're talking about placing things within things? I think bin is the term that they tend to use. Diego's probably Googling right now. He's a good Googler. So in terms of controlling images, the preferred method I still think is going to be to use these HTML tags. But these are not going to work with a PowerPoint slide deck. I don't know, Diego, do you have 15 minutes of energy left in you to try to see what these look like in PowerPoint, or do you just want to punt that until next week when maybe we get some more people in here?
No, I can do it. I can try it on PowerPoint.
Okay. Uh, I'm gonna do one last HTML tag placement, just so we can see how much control you can have over these images. Oh, by the way, I found an extremely useful just this morning, an extremely useful command in the YAML. And that command, I actually used it in the index here. And again, just learning this, we're probably going to make mistakes with the placement of our YAML commands because spaces and tabs are so important here. But this mouse wheel command, man, is that helpful, because the default on these slides. Have you done a slide deck in Quarto yet, Diego?
No, I did using Sharingan.
Yeah, I still am so much more comfortable with that. But Mike said he gave a presentation. I think he did his prelims. He said using Quarto, so that's pretty cool. But this mouse wheel command, as I'm navigating here, the pane of slides that I have, the mouse wheel isn't by default enabled, so I got to use the keypad. It's kind of a pain in the butt. So I'm guessing that's going to be in. Probably throw an error here. Yeah. Let's move this down. Move this over. It's a sub command. Yeah. And now that mouse wheel is enabled, so I can navigate this so much easier. We don't need to do that more elaborate placement using HTML code. I think maybe what we'll do is let's clean up this slide deck a little bit and see if we can see what it looks like as a set of PowerPoint slides. Now, think about that. I don't have any Microsoft products, so I can't view the PowerPoint slides. What I've been doing for feedback is I've been rendering a PowerPoint, looking at it here in my file folder, and then taking that and putting it into Google Slides so I can actually see it. So, Diego, do you want to maybe do a screen share of this?
Yeah, yeah, and I'll render it so we can see the PowerPoint. You
Okay.
said it's on GitHub.
Let me push. Did you connect to the repo? I sent you guys an invite, but I might have to send another one.
What's the repo called?
It's called Live Streams. It's on mine.
Here it is. No, I only have the link to YouTube. I don't
All
see
right.
the.
I probably need to send you another invite. I'll send you another invite here. Cats. By the way, if people are watching this and this looks all very computery, we just share our work through GitHub. It's actually not as scary as it looks. Again, once we get people in and chatting, we could do a walkthrough of that as well if people are interested in. But it's a great way to share documents and share projects. Did I already push?
And work on same scripts at the same time.
Work on the same scripts. Yeah, it's fantastic for that. So I'm gonna take my screen share off, and then I'm gonna go to my GitHub repo, Diego, and I'm gonna re-invite you. If I can find it. We need some like elevator music if we keep this going for these little lulls when we're just Googling things or inviting people to participate in your repo.
You should have like in the movies where they have like a break in between the.
Yeah, intermission. Oh, I can grab one of those. Let me show you what I have while I'm doing this. I have a few different things. I was gonna use this one to introduce Casey. I don't know why, but I was gonna get one for you too, but I ran out of time this morning.
Like my old pappy used to say, there's a polecat in the hen house.
I don't know why, but that made me think of Casey. Here, as I'm doing multiple things at once. This one's for frustration, Diego. So this one's when we're doing something in R, and R's not R's being stubborn.
Come out of there, you bladder sweating as a trapper roll! Ooh!
That's an accurate representation.
Yeah, that's an accurate one. We got to turn the volume down on that one. Here's when you have the best of intentions and approach R to help with a project, and again, R just doesn't seem to. R's like above you. R says, "Oh, funny little human, you want my help, but this is what I'm going to give you." That one's for Renata. Okay, I think I'm in here. But yeah, this is going to be fun with StreamYards and having the ability to do kind of funny little things like that. I see you finally changed to Diego F on GitHub.
No, I'm still actually Montclair ML. That's the name. It's just I added my name also. You know, like how you have GT Coolas, but then your name is John.
Yeah.
John O. Coolas.
Oh, it won't. I see. I needed to cancel before it let me invite. So sorry, it's taken so long. There we go. Okay, you should have an invite now.
Yep, I see it.
I made it public too, so we could have just gone there and grabbed it as well.
Okay, creating the version control.
And then this will be good. Hopefully Casey can join next week, and then we can go over specifically his. Obviously, we're grabbing cats for images just from the internet, but he had some data objects that he wanted to represent in specific locations on his PowerPoint slides. And so I think back channel, we were able to work out some things that would work for him, but he's got to confirm that because I haven't spoken with him since we were kind of sending files back and forth last week.
I see he also has a web scraping script.
That's me. I was just playing with that. So I want to get better at web scraping.
Yeah, sounds like a very useful skill to have.
Yeah, I think so. You know what I'm using it for, Diego?
For what?
Fantasy football.
Oh.
So
what are you scraping?
Stats. They're just rushing stats for the NFL. I think I had rushing versus touchdowns versus attempts. And the frustrating thing on that, not frustrating, but the thing that I didn't spend a lot of time trying to figure out is how to access the entire table of information they have versus the visible table of information that they have. So there's got to be just a different CSS indicator for that. But maybe we can spend one of these weeks, looking into issues like that. And again, if we promote this and get people involved, then that's the kind of thing that collectively people can kind of help each other out with.
Yeah, that would be a cool thing to do. I was thinking on scraping once, like scraping information about the housing market, about where people are moving the most. But it was more complicated than I thought. Well, I already have here the script, and when I render it, it opens the PowerPoint slide on my browser.
Can you share? Yeah. Did you change the YAML to pptx already?
No.
Or are you just doing the review? Okay, yeah. Because I think that's where we're going to run into issues.
Okay, share screen.
I might have to enable something, I suppose.
Window. Entire screen. There we go.
What's the interface look like from your end, by the way? Do you see us as a video and then some options underneath? Oh, I see. Okay, that just came available to me. So then I need to prove it. Ooh, you sent us into a different dimension, Diego.
Yeah, infinite loop.
Once you get your PhD, we'll call you Dr. Strange.
Dr. Fig. So
Dr. Fake? No, you're definitely not fake.
So I would change here on the YAML to actually it would be
on line 5 there, the reveal JS, we should be able to change that to, I think it's pptx, which is just a file extension for the PowerPoints. And
okay, and it downloads here. Can you see it? The download here.
Yeah, this is the part I can't access since I don't have Microsoft.
There's our cats.
Yeah, see there. So okay, so the thing about Quarto is they want this platform to transition a lot smoother from these different formats. So like we were using Jeringen for presentations and Bookdown for books and Distill or Papa Ja, all these different. Wait, Is that the PowerPoint or is that the reveal?
This is the reveal.
Yeah.
The
So
PowerPoint is slightly different. It's like for smaller cats. It looks different.
yeah, and so this is kind of one of the images that we were going over with Casey. Now, one of the things that it seems like worked. So if you go down, Diego, I gotta open up my script again because I can't. My old eyes can't see your screen that well.
Should I stop sharing?
No. Keep sharing. I'm just. Whoa! Everything just went away from me. I want to look up my script so I can tell you what line numbers to maybe play with, or give you a suggestion as to what worked before. So you're in the 12.1.23 QMD, right? Oh, I'm sorry. No. You're in the reveal slides QMD.
Yeah.
All right.
Now I'm in the 12.1.23.
Yeah, that was just those little 3 slides for the start of the session here. I think what worked, Diego, was go to line 44, which is our last one.
Here we go.
Where we currently have the layout as 60-10-30.
Yep.
Just change that to maybe 60-40. Let's just do 2 columns, not give ourselves so many possible things that could go wrong. And then the big thing that I think doesn't transition from the HTML slides to the PowerPoint is the columns. So on line 46, where we have the first column, and then on line 50, where we have the second, the PowerPoint the PowerPoint slide format is viewing the layout command as sufficient for the columns. So I think you can take out everything. You can take out all of the fenced divs between line 44 and the end of the file. So where it says, for example, on line 47, it says first column, hashtag first. I don't think we need that. So I think that's actually interfering with the PowerPoint. So take out that whole fence. Just get rid of it. The colons, the curly brackets, none of it. And so remember I was saying that one of the issues that we're going to have transitioning to Quarto is it's got like too much automatic in it. Like it's got a feel of, oh, I know what you're going to do. Here, take this. And so this is one of those things, I think. So you can get rid of all of those as well, Diego. We only need the first one and the end one. So all we're going to fence is the 2 images. And it should pick up.
Oh, look, when you change to visual form and go back to source, it doesn't show the images.
Yeah, there's some bugs yet with this. I was surprised to hear you say that you're using RStudio as like your preferred IDE now. But they definitely have a lot of, people working on it. So the bugs are tolerable because they always get dealt with. So Diego, what I'm suggesting is all of those colons, second column, third column, get rid of all that stuff. So 47 through 52, just delete it. All we want between no, I think you're too high. I was looking a lot lower. So I'm seeing the slide that we're working on right now is starting on line 43, right? Yeah, there you go. Get rid of the other ones too. Get rid of every. No. Just on the last slide. So 45 is our fence that's going to define the 2 columns. And we don't need anything else, I believe, with PowerPoint. There you go. Get rid of that. And then, yep, exactly. And then just make sure that the last one, the end fence, matches the top fence. So if the top fence is 4 colons, you want 4 down below. I believe it's picking up on that, but that's one of those things that we should verify as well. So it'd be underneath the second one. So Diego, what I'm saying is that it seems like the PowerPoint, what was working well with the Reveal JS with the placement in terms of the layout and then the column specification, that column specification isn't working properly within the PPT, within the PowerPoint format.
Should we remove these ones as well?
Well, they're not working, but I don't think we care, as we're just problem solving this. Yeah, you could try that. The other thing that we need to, the other thing that we should try as we're learning this is we should verify that the hashtag first column, hashtag second column, hashtag third column that we used in the reveal.js, that was necessary. It's possible that just wasn't necessary, because it's not necessary in this one. Well, we'll see if it works.
Let's do it as PowerPoint now.
Okay, so it didn't work like what we wanted. Can we check your code one more time, Diego? So at the bottom, we want an end div. So on line, was that 43 there? Yeah, you got to end it. So the same number of columns as you have on 40. I'm sorry, columns. The same number of colons that you have on line 40. What's 41? I'm sorry. This StreamYard is so tiny. So if you have 4 colons there to start, you need 4 colons at the very end, like on line 47 or line 46.
We got 3 here.
Okay. No, but see, this is one of those Quarto things that we're gonna have to get comfortable with over time. It's counting each of those as a start and a beginning, Diego. It's like an open parenthesis. You got 1, and then it's going to see the one that it matches to, regardless of the one it matches to is on the same line or 10 lines away.
Oh, yeah.
So for each starting fence, we need an end fence.
So this one starts here, and it's gonna end. Like we need to put here 3.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think it's best to think of them as like open and end parens. And I don't even know I'm using that term correct, fence. That's why we need a chat in here to correct me. I'm not sure I like this system quite yet, but it is a change, so I guess we just got to give it some time.
I think it's not rendering, is it?
Are you getting a pptx in your files on the lower right pane?
Maybe it's because I have to close these. I don't know.
Oh, it looks like it's popping up. I mean, it shouldn't. There's not much to this, right? So it shouldn't take a whole lot of time. Yeah, it looks to me like we're still missing a fence somewhere. Can you? Let's see if we can get this in 5 minutes here, Diego. Can you go to your global options and maybe zoom that script a little bit so we can see it a little better?
Global options.
I think it's under appearance and then zoom. Yeah, see if that helps. Oh, thank you. Yeah, that helps quite a bit. So let's just look for divs here. Actually, let's just take out everything except that last slide. Because I'm guessing that we might have an open fence somewhere that's not finding its close.
Okay, so this one starts here and it ends here. And then this one starts here. We have the two images, and then it ends down here.
I don't think it matters, but maybe should we try four colons instead of 3? Again, as we're just trying to figure out these bugs.
Also, this one is salmon.
Yeah.
And then this one is not salmon. It's orange, right?
Well, it should be matched with that one on top of it, but it appears as though maybe they aren't finding each other. The other thing we don't know yet with Quarto, since again we know that there's quirks with our markdown. Remember, like spaces and double spaces and hard returns matter at the end of the line, so it's possible that it's possible we need a space on some of these. I doubt that's what's going on, but
yeah, and it happens with the hashtag too. Like if we did this instead, it would print out with the hashtags.
are you not getting a PowerPoint file?
No. No, only the two that I already created.
Okay, well that's telling us it's a different issue. Can we minimize that file, Diego? I know we got to go here pretty soon, but can we minimize that file just down to one slide? We just do the second column cat.
Okay.
So just keep everything from 40 down, and let's see if maybe
I remove all this.
I think so. Just as we're problem solving this.
I'm gonna try to do the reveal X. Reveal S. It was like that, right?
JS, reveal JS.
Okay, it seems the problem is just doing the PowerPoint.
Yeah, well, we knew that was going to be an issue. Oh, now it gave you some.
Got jealous.
Because you were speaking.
Jealous of,
You were speaking kindly of the Reveal.js and not the
yeah.
not the PowerPoint. Okay, so yeah, that did work. That did work in terms of getting them into 2 columns. So the issue was giving it too many fenced divs with the PowerPoint. So it just wanted that one. If you go back to the script, Diego, it just wanted that one, a simplified set of commands, right? Just the layout on line 12 and put whatever you want in there. Now, theoretically, I know we got to go, but if you did, let's try a 33, 33, 33 and put a third cat in there and see if it comes up into PowerPoint. It should.
Third cap.
Yeah. But it's got to be within that. It's got, no. I'm saying on that slide. What if we put a third cat on that slide?
Oh. Okay.
But, you know, it's interesting, though, with this, with the way that it doesn't want a column specification within that primary fence, then if you do 33, 33, 33, there's a question of, if you only have 2 images, is it putting it in the first container, second container? That's the word I was thinking of earlier. Is it putting it in the first and second container and leaving the third one empty? Because you would assume that that's what it does. It's stacking them. So we'd have to probably go a little smaller. So if you went 30, 30, 30, I would imagine it would actually work. But yeah, this is the not fun stuff in terms of learning this stuff. Oh, come on. Is that the PowerPoint? Was that the PowerPoint? No, you're on Reveal.
Yeah. So I need to change again to PowerPoint. So I need to change
remember the whole, yeah, the thing we're trying to control is the PowerPoint. The PowerPoint is the one that we're having more issue with in terms of those columns. Okay, we're actually over time here, Diego. We got the 2 images on the PowerPoint slide. We didn't quite get to controlling more than 2. So I think I'll probably reach out to Casey and see what he wants to do to take this and actually get a little further with it. And then next week, I think we got the StreamYard issues figured out. So I'll go ahead and promote this next week and let people know that we're doing it. And hopefully we'll get a few people showing up. Are you available next week?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Then that means I got to get an intro for you. I got to get a funny intro for when we bring you on.
Use what was my animal for the MPPAW presentation? It was
a Catalonian ibex. Or no, you're not.
Yeah, it was a goat. A goat.
Yeah.
I like that. I'm the goat.
Yeah, from supposedly the same region of Spain that you're roughly from. It's not. It's not Catalonia though, is it? Am I confusing that with someone else?
From where I am?
Yeah. What region is it?
I'm on the opposite end of I'm on the other coast.
All right. We have to look for a different goat. All right. We'll look for a different goat. I think I have the wrong goat.
You can put an octopus, because in Galicia we like octopus a lot.
Octopus? All right, I'm writing that one down. That gives me an idea. Yeah, but you're talking about eating though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I had a cuttlefish when I was in southern Spain. That was supposedly the delicacy of the region. It's cuttlefish. So I don't know. Do you think that's different than octopus? Are those the same?
I think octopus is more yummy.
All right. Well, thanks for showing up, Diego. Next week we'll keep going with this. Are we gonna meet personally on Tuesday as well?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do that. Then we can talk about this some more then too.
Okay.
All right, thanks for showing up. See you, everybody.
Have a good weekend. Bye.